Little impromptu live stream. Um, I'm doing this um, basically to go ahead and give a message. Title of this is Jordan Neely, What We Don't Know About Him. And the reason for this is because, um, as many of us are aware, a young man by the name of Jordan Neely had his life taken away from him in New York on the subway. He was 30 years old. He was known in the city to be a performer, an impersonator, Michael Jackson impersonator. He was homeless. He dealt with mental health issues, um, had a troubled life. At the age of 14, his mother was murdered by her boyfriend, and she died a gruesome death. And he ended up having to testify against him. This man had to go there and face his accuser. That that tormented him throughout his life. This week, I was contacted by the good brother Mike Copperchild Michael reached out to me, and he connected me with someone by the name of King. Goes by the name of King. King uh, stated that he is the older brother of Jordan Neely. I had a chance to talk to him, and in the process of me having a conversation, we had two conversations, one yesterday, one today. Um, and in both periods of time, he was very emotional. So we were actually scheduled to have a interview. That was the purpose of us getting together. We were supposed to do an interview. I was going to have him on here, and he was going to give his side of the story. He said he wanted to be the voice for his brother, his younger brother, because he felt that his brother didn't have a voice. But things happen. He's going through a lot. And in the last minute, he basically decided to not go ahead with the interview. Um, he said he was very upset. He was still very angry. He was hurt. Um, Throughout our conversation, he broke down. So he wanted me to give a message. So I took down some things basically to give as a message to him. So um, before I give that message, I want to share this image, the images that I do have of Jordan Neely at this time. So those are him at an earlier age when he was performing. See that? Looks like somewhere in Times Square right there. And this man right here is no longer with us. So I want to give this message out to those who may want to hear it. Hopefully, it will reach the people it need to reach. I promised I would do this. I don't even normally do this, but his story, King's story, really resonated with me. So I gave my word. I was going to go ahead and put this out. So before I give the message, to give background story, he told me certain things that they had moved up north. Uh, I believe from the south. They weren't originally from up north, but they didn't live together. They were separated, and Jordan ended up living with his mother. Of course, we know the story about that, what happened to that, and then of course, in the consequence, Jordan ended up going to foster care. So they kept in touch, but in the last part, you know, they both were dealing with mental issues, mental health issues. Of course, Jordan being the person who actually saw, um, actually had to deal with his mother being murdered, testifying against the killer, and all of that. So, um, as a result, it is reported that he dealt with substance abuse, K2, and things of that nature, going in and out. A lot of this stuff is already reported, but one of the things King mentioned is that, um, because he still deals with mental health issues. Um, he found a way to kind of get a grasp on it. You know, he ended up getting married. You know, he has a support system. He draws. He uses art as a means of a vehicle to, um, deal with what he deals with. Jordan, though he had the artistic ability of dancing, somehow, some way, he didn't quite get a grip on it to that degree. Thus, he became homeless, going in shelters, out of programs, in and out of programs, you know, getting arrested. One of the things he said, to me, was that the last time they spoke, and it was some time ago, um, that he tried to get him to leave New York, basically, to get out of that area, because he felt that his life was in danger. You know, he basically said, you know, they're going to do something to you out there. And sure enough, it came to this point. So basically, this is the message I'm going to read, and I'm looking off to what I was able to write down. You know, this won't be long, but I wanted to give this message as a courtesy and a gift to help this brother, you know, help this brother deal with the grief that he's dealing with about Jordan Neely, and of course, we want justice for him. He said, "My brother Jordan was the most lovable person you could you would know. He would give you the shirt off his back. Jordan was the heart of the city, and people loved him all over. Um, and he feels that the world is suffering now because of the actions of one man taking his brother's life." Um, he also said that, Jordan had a heart of gold. You know, uh, he wasn't the type of person to harm people. He was just in pain. Um, you have to understand the fact that he was in pain, dealing with the fact that he still dealt with the murder of his mother. He also said, um, you can't use and blame mental illness as a justification for the taking of his life. And even with that, um, King said that he feels like mental health killed his brother. That was his words. Mental health killed my brother, because he felt that basically his mental health issues put him in a situation where his life was in danger and ended up costing him his life. He said to um, he said to the message to the person who killed him. Um, he just asked the question, "Where was your training?" Um, because you're a veteran, you're a military veteran, you're supposed to know, as someone from the military, the proper protocol on how to engage with civilians. Um, he said, you know, why didn't you de-escalate it? Why did it go that far? And he said he personally feels that because of this, every time this person now looks in the mirror, he's going to have to deal with that reality of killing Jordan Neely. He said, every time you look in the mirror, I feel like he's going to see Jordan Neely. He's not going to be able to live with it. Um, he's going to have to suffer and deal with that. Um, his brother is hurt. Um, he's dealing with it the best way he can. Like I said, I spoke to him today. He was breaking down. He just felt like no one is really talking about his brother from the context. They're speaking on the mental health, but they're not really putting it in the context of what it's actually like to deal with mental health on a day-to-day. How do you navigate that? And his brother being a person who also deals with mental health issues but has been able to fare with it better, he feels that that's something that needs to be said and that needs to be given up and spoken about. So he wanted to convey that message. I took down as much as I could take down as far as the notes on what he was telling me. Um, and I hope I did justice by conveying this message. Um, so with that, justice for Jordan Neely, and let's be more mindful and considerate and compassionate for those who have mental health issues, and because they need help, they need our compassion, and they need our care, our love. So I promise I wouldn't be long. I wanted to convey this message, and I hope with that everyone receives it, and I hope his brother receives it and his family receives it. Condolences to the family. Our prayers are with you, and may you find strength during this time. So with that, I'll end it off.